Welcome back to the Rock Philosophy, Part 3. Rock 2. Rock 2 is being swept out to sea. As the water caught him, causing him to leave the other rocks on the beach, he couldn't help thinking life was unfair. Just when you're starting to feel settled, getting to know your neighbours and feeling good about yourself, then wham! Why me, was his inward cry. He could feel himself tumbling through the waves, feeling the water caressing his surface, cleansing him. He started to enjoy the journey. As he was carried along by the waves, his mind was going over his most recent discussions with the other rocks on the beach. That big rock was strange, yet there was something really nice and calming about him. All the other rocks, though, seemed to be the type which settled and didn't really move very much. How lucky they are, he thought. Why am I always the one which gets swept away? I am not that small. I am broad on the top, and on the bottom too. I guess so. I am incredibly thin in between. At that he felt himself reach the end of the current journey and drift towards the bottom of the sea. The journey downwards was cool and occasionally dark as the light filtered down from the top. He felt himself come to rest on the crest of a very large rock. As he became more settled, he began to become more aware of the surroundings. He tried to speak to the large rock, but got no answer. Rock 2 thought it was typical of big rocks. Either they were attached to the ground, and in effect were the ground, or more often than not, they just were not interested in smaller beings, and consequently ignored smaller rocks as if they didn't exist. Rock 2 became aware of a collection of smaller rocks below him. He could hear one say to the others, "I was nearly away that time. I nearly made it." The voice was very excited. Another voice responded, "You are a fool if you think it was your turn. I felt myself being lifted by the current and it was my turn." Yet another voice laughed, "You should listen to both of you. You never had a chance." Rock 2 was becoming increasingly intrigued by the discussion and couldn't help but call down to his new neighbours, "What did you think was going to happen?" There was a silence as a collection of rocks tried to establish where the voice had come from. "Oh, hello up there," came a voice from the smaller rocks. "Where did you come from?" Rock 2 explained what had happened and how he hated getting moved about all the time. Here he was until the next time he got swept away. There was a collective "ooh" from the rocks down below. "You are so lucky to see all the wonderful things which you have, never having to stay in the same place for long," was the reply from another member of the group. Rock 2 thought he'd better set the record straight. "Listen," he said. "I just seem to get settled and then I am away on my travels. I never ever seem to make friends I can keep. I never get too comfortable and I always feel alone." A voice came up again. Rock 2 couldn't be sure if it was a voice he had heard before. They all sounded quite similar. "That sounds wonderful. You always seem to be here, never moving, seeing the same rocks all the time." "Now that cannot be true," replied Rock 2. "I'm sure you get other rocks who pass by like me whom you talk to." "Of course we do, but it isn't the same as travelling yourself," was the reply. Rock 2 laughed as he answered, "Of course, you're quite correct. However, you don't have the dangers of being smashed against larger rocks either. Together you are much stronger than you would be individually." "Never thought about that," said a voice. "Anyway," said Rock 2 thoughtfully, "from up here I can see different groups of rocks. There are at least 3 groups of rocks nearby. They are beautiful in their different colours. They too must have stories which you can share." "We don't talk to them," was the reply. "They are not like you, who is much the same as us. These rocks are different. They don't think or feel the same way as us." "Do they not?" came Rock 2's reply. "From up here it looks to me as if they share the same water you do. They have the same crabs which live under them, and the same plants which grow around them." "Yes, but we are different. We don't have any fungus which grows on us," said one of the rocks. "That's true," said Rock 2. "Why is this?" "Well, we don't allow it to grow." "Do you not find it pleasant having the fungus on you?" asked Rock 2. "Of course we do, but we choose not to let it grow. When we feel the current moving us, we rub together, so it doesn't get a chance to grow." "Really," replied Rock 2 in amazement. "If you like it, why stop it?" This is perhaps too complex for you to understand, was the reply from the rocks. Try me, asked Rock 2. We believe life is better out above the water, and if we keep ourselves smooth, giving up that which we like and enjoy, then we have more chance of reaching the world above. Forgive me for asking, but why would this help you reach the outside world, asked Rock 2. It is very simple. Being smooth and giving up the comforts in our lives means when the current arrives each day, one of us may win the chance to reach the surface, was the reply. Have any of you been swept away before? Asked Rock 2. No, but we have heard of others who have. Normally it is only a few of the many who are this lucky. It seems a very large gamble to me, especially when you give up what you have for something you assume will be better. I know whoever succeeds may not find it will bring the joy they expect, said Rock 2. As he spoke, an undercurrent passed along the bottom of the sea. Rock 2 felt himself shift slightly but settle again. He watched in amazement as the rocks below moved slightly, rubbing against each other, keeping their surfaces clean. The order of the rocks changed slightly too, as those at the top moved around slightly, as those below moved up ever so slightly. Rock 2 could see eventually all the rocks would get a chance at the top. Rock 2 couldn't help now but ask, let me make sure I understand you properly. You want to reach the top by giving up what pleasure you can have, including your friends here. You are never truly at peace, and you don't talk to your neighbours. True, was the reply. If you give up trying to reach the top, you would have joy here and now, enjoying what you do have as opposed to what you might have. You would find you would have a pleasant covering of fungus, and then you would be exactly the same as your neighbours. You might then find your world is much better than you think, said Rock 2. Why would we want to change our lives when what we have works so well? Was the reply, which was echoed by the others, saying yes in collective agreement. As Rock 2 felt exasperation taking over, he heard a very slow, deep voice coming from the very large rock on which he was sitting. Give up. I did after many years of protecting him from currents which would have spread them far and wide. I too tried to help them see the possibilities in their lives. At the final word from the large rock, Rock 2 was swept away by another current once more on his journey. As he passed over the rocks, he could see them in their slow dance, where their collective imagination convinced them what they didn't have was better than what they had. Rock 2 felt the current carrying him once more onto the beach. As you leave Rock 2, resting on the beach, and find yourself once more above the yew under the tree, you see yourself casting Rock 5 into the sea. You find you follow him too on his journey. End of part 3. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll join me for part 4.